This card don't read so good. Wake up. This card in the set. What the hell is this? Best in show. All right, what's up, my friends? Welcome to the complete set review for Edge of Eternities. Ooh, space. And if you missed everything else, you missed white, blue, black, red, green, and multicolor. We're in Colorless now. You missed those, go watch them on YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, support the content. A lot of work goes into these. I did the whole thing in one shot. I'm pretty pooped already. Looking forward to dinner and a drink. So make sure you take a second and like and comment, subscribe, and do it in every video. It helps out so much. It really helps a ton. 10 New Brews is going to be this coming Wednesday, 2 p.m. Going to be a lot of fun. And of course on YouTube to follow. And we got that going on. And of course we have Bronze Mythic happening the following week, Tuesday, 29th on the release date. First two drafts will be that night. Very, very excited to draft a set. Looks really, really fun. So I'm pumped about that one, and that's really cool. So let's do it. Let's get right into the games. Right into the cards, and we're gonna give out our awards. Limited constructed, you get the idea. So let's jump right in with All Fates Scroll. This is a 3-mana mana rock, 1 mana of any color, and you can pay 7, tap, and sack this to draw X cards, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. Now, really important to note, this set does not have any common dual lands, all right? We've been spoiled in the last like 8 sets where every set has 10 common dual lands in it. Not this set. So there are not actually that many lands in the set. So getting differently named lands is not super easy. There is a land bonus sheet, which is a bunch of different lands, and there are some rare lands, but not going to be as easy unless you are playing a bunch of different basic lands. So that being said, this is still pretty good. Mana rock is fine, and then if you draw 3 or 4 off this, you're like pretty freaking stoked. So cool little mana rock. Not an amazing card, you know, but I think this is a pretty cool mana rock if you're in the market, that sort of thing. As a pretty good buyout as well. So cool card. All Fates Scroll. Yeah. Next up is Eldrazi. There's 1 Eldrazi in the set and 1 Sliver card in the set. Surprised there aren't more, honestly, but Anti-Casual Vestige. This is an Eldrazi 6 mana rare. It's a 7/5. Whenever this creature leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Then you may put a permanent card, mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control, from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. And then it has Warp 4. Reminder, Warp is kind of like a mixture between Evoke and Adventure, where you can play the creature for the warp cost. It only stays in play for the turn, and the end of turn goes in the adventure zone. We can play it again later. So we have 4 mana, draw a card, put in a permanent card that costs 4, and then cast it for 6 mana. It's a 7/6 with a death trigger. It's like pretty cool, I guess. I don't know, honestly. This card's really hard to evaluate. Where the problem is, if you could guarantee having a 3 or 4 mana card in your hand to put in with this all the time, that's pretty good. 4 mana, draw a card, play a thing, and then put this into your adventure zone is pretty powerful. But you can't guarantee that, you know. And then at 6 mana, this card's still pretty good. 7/5 for 6, and then if it dies, you draw a card, put a thing into play. But I just don't know what you would do with this card exactly. Like, I think it's fine. Battlefield, draw a card. Yeah, like, I don't know, honestly. It's a weird card. It's a really good limited card, because I think just on pure rate, like, just like 4 mana draw a card, 6 mana play this thing is pretty fine. But yeah, I don't know. This is a really weird card. I don't really foresee this card doing much in constructed, but I could totally be wrong, because Eldrazi are so weird. Pretty good limited card. It can ramp into itself by playing a land, but that's like not, you know, turn 4 do nothing is not super exciting. But yeah, card's cool. I don't know. I got no idea on that one, folks. But then we come to Bygone Colossus. This is like the designer, haha, check out this card in the set. 9 mana for a 9/9. It's got Warp 3. All right, so as usual, like most Magic cards, this is a card that's more than the sum of its parts. You warp this in, it doesn't actually do anything. It just hangs out as a 9/9 and goes away. But if you can give it haste, awesome. Maybe you can use it to crew a spaceship, awesome. Maybe you can sacrifice it to something that cares about a power or whatever. Yeah, this card was initially called Combo Colossus in design, and it definitely is that, you know. So a lot of things you can do with this card here, whether it's giving it haste or whatever else it might be. Probably not casting it for 9, but this is a pretty fun card. This is a really fun, you know, side quest kind of card. You got to figure out what to do with this thing and then go from there, and that's kind of cool, honestly. So constructed or limited, don't play this card unless you got a plan for it. But if you have some good plans, this card can do things pretty cool. So love the design of this card. I think the design of this card is a little ham-fisted, so I wouldn't want to do this a bunch of times in a set. But I think doing it once is a really good design. So like it a lot. Fling it, station it, give it haste, whatever else it might be. Bygone Colossus, really cool card. Next up is Chrome Champion. Aww. There aren't that many commons in Colorless, all right? But Chrome Champion's gonna win the Bombin Common award because it's really just a fine card. Like 2 mana for a 2/1 with like pseudo lifelink that could also just like crew stuff, companion, sorry. And then also has some graveyard hate too. This is not a particularly high pick or exciting card, but if you're doing like the station thing or you want to gain some life, this card seems reasonable enough. It's also a doggo. Hey, Karn, are you on the Magic card? No one can see you because you're over there. You're supposed to be in your bed. Whatever, man. So, but yeah. Again, there only are like 4 or 5 commons in the entire section. So this is not a first pickable common and not a card I would even take highly. But if you're doing the whole station thing, this card's kind of cool. And yeah, it's also a freaking Robo Dog too. So yeah, there you go. So Card Companion is what it is. This card will probably make your deck a reasonable amount of time. I'll be sad about it. So that is that's your Bombin Common with the caveat that there are like 4 commons in this section. Next up is Dreadless Scrapbot. 3 mana for a 3/1. When it enters, exile each opponent's graveyard and make a lander token. This card's just good. Like 3/1 makes a lander token and gets some value. It's 2 artifacts for triggers for stuff. Makes a lander token, fixes your mana, exiles a graveyard. Yeah, this card's just good. Like, you know, I can see if you don't care about artifacts or landers or fixing at all, this card's like an auto include in your deck. But if you care about any of those things, this card is pretty solid. So pretty cool card. And then for constructed, if you are destined for graveyard hate or whatever, cool. Yeah. Got a lot of upside. If you're a graveyard enjoyer, I'm sorry. That sucks.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Next up is Dawnsire Sunstar Dreadnought.
It's a trap.
Yeah, I get it. You can do the whole combo where you crew this thing and you deal damage to your screaming nemesis and then you kill it. I get it, all right? It's not that funny of a joke. This is a card that does essentially nothing.
Still a piece of garbage.
5 mana for an artifact, blank. That's it. Station, with 10 or more, it says whenever you attack, this deals 100 damage. Doesn't need to be this attacking, just anything attacking. And then at 20 crew is a flying 20/20. This is a very silly Magic card. In no way, shape, or form should this card be in your deck if your goal is to win a game of Magic. If you want to have fun, go nuts. Have a great time. It's a fun card. Do silly combos. Put it in your commander deck. Have a great time. But this is a very, very silly card. There is the Threaten that can do 10 counters, so you can use that to fire up immediately. Yeah, that's a combo you can play. You still got to get this damn thing in play, and it costs 5. So, yeah, silly card. In Limited, I think this card is probably worth it because if you need a way to win, because it does just win the game, by itself as the game goes on. But yeah, this card's kind of not serious, kind of a meme. If you like that sort of thing, awesome. But if your goal is to win, this card is not really super there. So, is what it is. Moving on to the Dominion Bracelet. Kind of a weird one. 2 mana for an equipment. Comes for 1. Gives +1/+1, and then has 15 exile this. Mindslaver your opponent. Costs X less to activate, or X is the power of the creature. So, kind of an interesting one, where the more powerful the creature is, the easier it can use this Mindslaver effect. That being said, like, it's got to be pretty powerful to make this worth it. Another possible combo with your 9/9, right? You can put it on there, and then, you know, it's -9. But definitely a card that's going to be pretty cool and limited. Constructed-wise, I don't think this is a serious Magic card, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. I look forward to doing this in limited, though. Mindslaver is pretty fun. Mindslaver also has the problem of you might Mindslaver them, and they just don't have a ton going on. You know, like, but it is a true Mindslaver, not an Embercool Mindslaver, where they don't get another turn after that. You do go back to your turn, so it's kind of a time walk also. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's certainly an interesting Magic card. Probably more of a limited card, but yeah, that's cool. Next up is the End Stone. 7 mana for an legendary artifact. Play a land or cast a spell, draw a card, which is a unbelievable line of text. And then at the beginning of your end step, your life total becomes half your starting total rounded up. So that could be a downside or an upside. If you're at 5, you go to 10. You know, ridiculously powerful card. But it costs 7. You know, so if you got Tinker in your deck, sure. This card probably won't do many things that are fun. It's probably going to be like one of those dumb Omniscient style combo cards. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. You know, in limited, it's interesting because, like, do you play this card in limited? I don't know, honestly. If your deck is slow, it seems pretty good. There's also the issue of you play it in limited, you might just deck because you have to draw cards on a May. So every card or land you play, you draw another card. So I can see it getting out of hand too. But yeah, definitely an interesting card. Mostly commandery, but. Next up is the Eternity Elevator, which is another awesome art piece and pretty cool card. 5 mana for a legendary spacecraft. It taps for 3 colorless. So it's kind of a Gilded Lotus-esque as far as the mana gets back to you. Then it has station going on here. You got to station it. It won't turn into a creature, but at 20 or more station, it will add X mana of any one color, or X is the number of charge counters, meaning that it is taps for 20 mana. Another silly side quest adventure card that's not particularly feasible for anything reasonable, but if you're playing Commander, have fun. You do you, all right? Extinguisher Battleship. 8 mana for a spacecraft. When it enters, destroy target non-creature permanent, and then deal 4 damage to each creature. Has station. Only 5 station to make this into a 10/10. This is the card I'm very excited about. We're losing some of our big, you know, Portal of Phyrexia and so on and so forth kind of cards. And this is a pretty good replacement for Kona and other stuff. You can bring it back and reanimate it or hardcast it, ramp. This is a sweeper. This kills a non-creature permanent. It's pretty cool, honestly. And so this card's sweet. And I think this card is constructed playable in the right ramp deck. And then in limited, this card is kind of a banger if you're doing the ramp deck. You play this card, you'll probably win the game. Honestly, kill something, kill everything. Pretty reasonable station cost, and yeah, it is not a creature for reanimates, which is like a bit of a concern. But yeah, in some cases there are things that care about reanimating non-creature things, so it can be a benefit there. It was like that Saga or class or whatever it is, level up thing, or a few others. So. Yeah, but cool card. I like this card a lot. This card will definitely see play. It's also a good limited card, and I'm in. Sign me up. This card's great. This card's going in Kona, and I'm very excited about it. Nutrient Block. I don't know how you're supposed to eat food that can't be damaged by a laser.
I'm tired of the clown show.
But sure, whatever. 1 mana artifact, food, indestructible. 2 sack, gain 3 life. When it dies, draw a card. This is a pretty cool sacrificey void enabler. You know, if you need an artifact, a cheap artifact, whatever, it turns on Void, gains some life. It is cute within Soul Artifact and Friends. But yeah, kind of a cool card. More than some of its parts. But yeah, cool limited card. Probably not much more than that, but it's cool. Also, I love vanilla. Yeah, I agree. I love vanilla. All right, I'm a big vanilla person. So, all right. Pinnacle Kill Ship, our common spacecraft. 7 mana for a spacecraft. ETB, deal 10 to 1 creature. Has station 7 or more. It's 7/7 flyer. I think this card's playable. I don't think every deck wants this card, but I think if you're a bigger rampy deck looking for a top end card, this card's more than reasonable. Just 7 mana, kill anything, and then make it a flyer. It's cool. I like it. Surveill Mechan. 4 mana for a 1/3 flying hexproof. Has 10, sacrifices creature to deal 3 damage to any target. Target player draws 3 cards and gains 3 life. This costs X to activate, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. There's no weird mechanic to have in this set because there are so few lands, but kind of fun with like the bonusless cards and maybe playing more colors. If this thing sacrifices for like 5, that's really good. Kill a creature, draw 3 cards, gain 3 life. Kind of hard to use, but I don't know. It's an interesting card. Kind of an oddball, but
I bet you weren't expecting that one, God.
Next up is Tesaret Cruel Captain, and this is a bizarre card. Tesaret is our first ever 3 mana colorless planeswalker. It, for loyalty starting, has a static ability of whenever an artifact enters, put a counter on this, a loyalty counter. Note that is not cast, that is not non-token. This is a very easy planeswalker to get up very, very quickly. The 0 is untap artifact creature. If it's an artifact creature, put a counter on it. The -3 is search library for an artifact card mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And the -7 is get an emblem with a beginning of combat in your turn. Put 3 counters on a creature, an artifact you control, and make it a creature. So the ultimate seems really tame because this thing can ultimate on the turn you cast it, like pretty easily. In Modern, play this on turn 3. Mistress Bauble, Mox Amber, Mox Opal, ultimate. Like, pretty easy to do. And then if you go back to Vintage, like, you know, even in Modern, like, this can search for a Mox Opal and just put it in play. And then add a counter back, which is kind of cool too. So, this card is very, very powerful. But I think this card is only very, very powerful if it is in a powerful format with good 0 mana artifacts. Without that, it's kind of underwhelming, honestly. You know, I think this is the kind of card that we'll see a lot of play in Vintage and Legacy and Modern, and very little play in Standard. Huge commander card, good limited card. But in Standard, like, there isn't really a critical mass of, like, cheap artifacts to push this thing up like crazy. But it's still good enough season play, you know. It's kind of an interesting one. But yeah. It also untaps artifacts for Time Vault and, like, Grim Monolith and stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty busted card in old formats. But yeah, and if you're making tokens, like making Thopper tokens or Servo tokens, does that pretty well too. So yeah, cool card, pretty powerful, weird power curve of like, it's, you know, good in old formats, maybe not so good in Standard, pretty good in Limited. But yeah, pretty wild card overall. So whatever, Torpedo. 1 mana for an artifact, 6 mana tap, destroy a permanent. If you attack with a spacecraft, it's only 3. That's like okay, you know, this sort of like bad removal spell sees a little play in Limited these days. You know, it's not great, but it's passable. But if it costs 3, it's actually pretty good. So if you are doing the artifact spacecraft thing, this card's like okay, but never going to be great. This is just like a fringe playable Limited card and not too much more. Throwing Hive Pool. 6 mana for an artifact with affinity for slivers. There are no slivers in the set. Slivers you control have double strike and haste. Beginning of your upkeep, make 2 colorless sliver creature tokens. So, in the context of Standard or Limited, this is a 6 mana artifact that makes 2 double strike haste 1/1s every turn. In the context of formats that actually have slivers, this card is like preposterous. Just, you know, if I have 6 slivers in play, this is just free, double strike, haste, 2 tokens a turn. Kind of a silly card, you know, where like this is just like the most ridiculous commander / casual plant of all time. But has no slivers in our main format. There are some changelings or whatever, and there are some like, you know, like Mutavault lands. But yeah. Sure. You know, like, surprised it's not a mythic, honestly. This is like a real cash grabby kind of card. But yeah, I don't know. It's honestly kind of cool and limited because, like, you can just play it and make... That's not good enough there either. But maybe we'll check the changeling count and build this for 10 new brews. But yeah. Okay. Viralent Silencer. The meta for a 2/3. Whenever a non-token artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, they get 2 poison counters. Okay. There's no other poison in the format. But sure, I guess. Weird card. Probably really good in limited because you're just playing an artifact aggro deck, like 5 hits and you win kind of thing. Or if you have multiples, sure. Other than that, this is just a really weird card. You know, like, I mean, if there was some sort of like, you know, Memnite kind of deck and you wanted a way to, I don't even know, honestly. Just a really weird card. All the toxic cards are rotating when this card rotates in. I don't know. Just a really, really bizarre Magic card. I'm just going to move on. Wormwall Sweeper. 2 mana spaceship. This is the cheapest of all the spacecrafts. When it enters Surveill 2, has station 4 or more 2/2 flyer. This card seems cool if you're the red-white, I want to tap my shit deck. It's not particularly powerful, but 2 mana Surveill 2 isn't the end of the world. And then tap your stuff, make it 2/2. And remember, you can overstation stuff. So once it's already a creature, you can still keep tapping your stuff for your tap effects. But yeah, not extremely exciting, but I think if like you are that deck, this card does fill that role for you. On to the lands, we see Command Bridge here. This is the only common land in the entire set. And this is a tap land. When it enters, sacrifice it unless you tap an untap permanent you control. So you can tap another land and just pay for it one like that old gate. Or you can tap a land or token or a creature. That's pretty good, honestly. This is not a bad fixer. It is strictly better than Rupture Spire is, which was a playable limited card. So that's kind of cool. But overall, not the most exciting. And there's such a decentralized focus in this set on playing a lot of colors. There aren't that many multicolor cards, and there aren't many rewards for splashing, that this card just sort of seems a little out of place. But it is there if you want it and do want to splash. Secluded Starforge. We have a colorless land. Pay 2, tap X artifacts, and you can pump a creature by X, which is like kind of whatever. The cool part here is that 5 mana tap, make a 2/2 robot. Just a strictly better Urza's Factory. Nope, Urza's not Factory. Urza's shit. What's the Urza land? 7 mana tap it, make a 2/2. Is it Foundry? I don't know, whatever. But not that that's very good anymore. But it is a mana sink kind of land, which is kind of cool. Is it a Factory? Oh, right, Mishra's Factory, yeah, sir. So yeah, Urza's Factory. So yeah, but yeah. Fun side story about Urza's Factory. World Championship 2006. Me and my buddy Jay played in the World Championship. It was both of our first World Championships. And I caught Jay making a deck registration error in his black-white control deck. He is playing 2 Urza's Factory as like a late-game mana sink. And he wrote down Urza's Tower instead, which was legal at the time. So he would have had to play 2 Urza's Tower in his deck. But I caught that one. So go me. But yeah. And then we come to our planets. And the planets are pretty wild. There's 1 for each color. They are mythic lands. They enter tapped and tap for the color that they make. And they also have stations. These are planets, not spacecrafts. Once you hit the station threshold, they turn on. They're all 12 or more, which is a lot. But the opportunity cost here is super low. This is just a tap land. You don't got to cast it. Don't got to put it in play. Just tap land. You can tap your creatures and crew it and do the thing. For white, it is 12 plus station encounters. 4 mana tap this, make a token that's a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control, except it's legendary, and activate only as a sorcery. So, pretty cool. What's up, Shahar? I don't ask how I did in that Worlds, all right? I might have went 4 and 11, but I did save Jay's butt in Deck Reg. But yeah, so this can copy stuff. I think that the more important part of these station lands is what they do with cards that want to tap. Kona, of course, in particular, but any of the survival cards from Duskmourn or various other things you want to just tap for whatever reason, this does that for you at almost 0 opportunity cost. This is just a tap land. It goes in your deck, has some upside, and then it allows you to tap your stuff and get your effects without having to do anything more than that. So that's more exciting to me than the actual effect. This effect is okay. It's not great. It's really awkward because this one in particular, it's weird to play a bunch of creatures in your deck and then also a bunch of artifacts and enchantments. So this is a little weird. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So that's the Widseth Bastion. Uthros Titanic God Core is the blue one, which is a Taran Academy. But again, kind of awkward because is your Taran Academy deck producing enough creatures to actually station it? Low opportunity cost, but could be cool in synth decks because your synth tokens can crew it, which is kind of nice. The black one is more interesting. This is a same idea, tap land station, 12 or more. This is 2 mana tap, pay 2 life, sack creature, draw cards equal to sacrifice creature's power, only as a sorcery, which is quite powerful, but again, a little on the weird side. Also awkward to have to like tap all these creatures and also pay life. So this is a little iffy as well, but really cool art. Really cool art. I think the synthesizer being a payoff for the blue and white ones is pretty good. This one's a little less exciting to me. The red one, again, phenomenal art. Just, is 2 mana tap, sack a land, make it 2/2. And then all creatures you control get ++0 and haste, which is pretty powerful. So pretty cool late game effect for like an aggro deck, but again, pretty rough. But the one I'm excited for is, of course, the green one. Avendo Waking Haven. This is a Gaia's Cradle, if you're able to turn the whole thing on. However, I don't even care about that. I care about tapping my survivors. Kona initially. I love Kona. Kona's dope. I was already playing the awful colorless artifact tap land to tap my Konas and my survivors in standard to good success anyway. And this is so much better than that card. It's by such a wide margin, being an actual green land, not being an artifact so you can't disenchant it, and then having the upside of, if you do end up stationing this is a Gaia's Cradle, which is a little weird. So this is cool for survivor stuff, and then also cool if you're playing a bunch of creatures and you want to get a Cradle going. I wouldn't want to rely on that, but again, the opportunity cost here is pretty low, so I think this card's kind of nice. Mostly with survivors, but could just crew basic stuff as well. Sleeper card in Colorless for me is Avendo, the Waking Haven. And then, of course, we come to the best in show. Shocklands need no introduction, and there are 5 of them in the set. It's kind of a weird mixture where we've got some enemy ones, some allied ones. We've got Breeding Pool, a Godless Shrine, Sacred Foundry, and then our allied ones here are Stomping Ground and Watery Grave. So we'll be seeing the next 5 of these probably in the next set or two. I do really hate that we only have half of these for a while. Having unbalanced land cycles in standard is a huge pet peeve of mine. Makes me unhappy. But my conspiracy theory is that they chose the 5 that would have been hardest to do in the Spider-Man set, and then the 5 they haven't done will be in the Spider-Man set. That's my conspiracy theory. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but Shocklands need no introduction, folks. These are the best standard lands there are. Most important standard is how these interact with the Verges. The Verges call out types, and these are really good with the Verges. So before rotation, most mana bases were Pain Land, Fast Land based, or Surveill Land, Verge based. Now we have the shock lands to go in the middle and do both, where they're good verges on both sides of the ball, whether you're doing untapped lands or tap lands, which is great. So shock lands are phenomenal. They're really, really powerful. Them being typed is super relevant, and they're just really, really good. So we have, instead of having Shockland Buddy Land, we've got Shockland Verges, which is great. And these are really, really good. So no surprises there. Best in show of the Shocklands. And recapping best in show Shocklands, as I just said. And then we got sleeper card, Avando Waking Haven. Our trap card is Dawnspire, Sunstar Dreadnought. And then our Bombin Common is Chrome Companion. Right, Garn? So, don't go nowhere. We're not done yet. The full main set is done. There was also a bonus sheet to do. That's very, very important for Limited and very, very important for Historic and other arena formats where cards are coming in for the first time. So, don't go nowhere. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's go.